Hello, welcome back everybody. Ashish Steve here, signing in for another tutorial. So today we will be discussing about the MySQL, how we can install the XAMPP server and start MySQL straight away. So without much further, let's kick it. So dear friends, before we start, you just have to install the XAMPP server. So in my case, I've already installed the XAMPP server. So let's fire out. So after the installation, you will find this control panel like this, XAMPP server control panel. Version which I'm using is 3.3.0. So before you start the MySQL, you have to start up this Apache server. You have to start this. Okay, you'll get a sign like this. The next is MySQL, start the server, and this should be always running. As of now, we'll be using this too. And once this started, you can just close this. So from the background it will be running, and from the start menu you can also see that it's running, and you can see that it is running, and it is right now in green color, and it is in the hidden mode. Now once you finish that, you just fire up any of your browser. So let's say Google Chrome I'm using that, and then you can just write here local host. And once you enter the local host in the browser, in the URL address bar, you will be getting this redirected to this Apache server. So once you reach there, you will find to the right side this PHP my admin. Once you go there, you just click this PHP my admin, and then you will be directed to this my PHP admin. So you will find here all your database MySQL where we can create all this stuff. So this is the environment. Right now we did not put any username and password as of now. Later on, when you create, you can just create your own username and password to protect your database from any access from foreign agent. So now let's start creating. So to your left side, you can see these are the following database. Right now it's present. So to see this, what are the database, we just have to go to the MySQL, click this MySQL, and from here you just write show databases, okay, and then just close with a semicolon always. This is a good practice that without semicolon there will be always an error. So after the end of every command or queries that you are doing from MySQL, you have to always stop with a semicolon. Once you click this, we just go and click go. Now you will be shown that when you do the query, you will be showing all these databases whichever is present right now. So these are the databases that I have. So now we know that, but now we will be creating our own databases. So let's go to the SQL, and then we'll start creating our own database first of all. So how to create a database? We just have to use this command called create event database and the database name. So you can give any name. So like say we'll just give here info. Okay. So right now I just give here net info. Okay. So the name that I give is right now like this, and we end with a semicolon. So this will be my database name as of now. So we're deleting the comments create database. So now we just go and click go, and as you can see that our database has been created successfully. So create database, and by the name net info. So this is all. So now to the left side that you can see our database net info is already created here. But remember, we just create only the database name. Nothing has been created like table and all as of now. We just created a database with a name so that we can put the data's table like rows and columns inside the database. So let's start. Now we will be using this. So to use that, you have to give one command call here, use. So the database name net info. So we are telling to database to use this net info database so that we can start creating our tables with the rows and columns. So we create go. Okay. So now database will be using our this we are telling from this following, use this particular call netinfo. Okay, so netinfo. So inside here we will be creating our table. So let's start. We go to the query once again, and you make sure that run SQL query or queries on database netinfo. So under this, if this is not selected, then they will, all your comments will be shown as error. Okay, so make sure that your query, everything is done with the help of this. So now this is selected. So now we going to create a table right now here. So we go a command called create, and then table, and the table name. So table name I'm going to give as records, and the entries. Okay, so and you can put here so now create a table, and then open bracket. So inside here you have to put there what type of character, these things you have to give here. So we will give here, right here also, like a person ID. Okay, so person's ID is a what, it's a what type we have to mention here. It's an integer type. So integer, okay, comma, and what are the things that you want to enter, you can put here person's ID. And then now we'll start here. Let's put the first name. What type of first name is that? Is a varchar. Okay, that means variable characters. So open here, and how long the name should be, so you give the value. So I'm giving here 20, comma, once again, and I'll give the second name. Okay, so what type is this? This is a varchar, and second name also I'm giving 20 characters. Then the next is like we'll just put the let's say address. So personal address, it's a one more again, it's a varchar type. And now address is long, so I'm going to give a long varchar, long character. And then now let me also put another one, that is let's say email. Okay, email, yes, email address, and it's also a varchar. And then email, how long is the email? Let's say 30. Okay, and now since we start with this open bracket, we also have to close the bracket once again. So one more bracket, and then we end with a semicolon. So this is it. So you can also put the name and the values together, but right now we are just putting only the table. We're creating the table called, this is our table name, and these are the values that we are adding: the ID and the first name. Instead of the second name, let's put as let's say last name. Okay, so that's better. So last name, varchar address, and the email address. So these are the following informations that we want to enter into our table. So now let's click go. Okay, so now as you can see that our table has been created successfully. Now how do we view the table now? So let's create, we have created, so now we have to see the table. So let's go here, and now we want to see the table. So to see the table, we can use here describe and the table name. So describe, let's say records, yes. So describe, and this is our record 32, this is our table, and then we will just give a semicolon. So to see the table, this is the comments that we'll be using that, and then just click go. And now you can see that whatever we have put the informations, everything is here right now. So person's ID we have put here is an integer type, yes, and first name character we have put varchar 20, last name varchar 20, address, email. So our table has been created, but we did not put the value still. So the value is all null right now, so we have to fill up this values. Let's go to the MySQL once again, and then we start entering the values. So how do we enter the values? We enter the values by the column values. We have to use a command called insert into which table you want to enter. So insert into and the table name. So that table name is net table name is record. Okay, records 22. Yes. So insert into the table name, that is record 22, values. So values. So the same thing, one thing I want to make sure here is this, whatever you have here right now we have is person's ID. So you have to put the person's ID, first name, last name. Okay, the procedure that you have given here, serially, accordingly you have to add the values. Only then the database will accept, otherwise it will give you error. Open bracket. Now the ID. So right now we're putting the values of this person's ID. So I'm going to give start from here 101. Okay, I'm going to give the value. So next is what? Next is the person's name. So I'm going to give here person's name. So let's give this my name, first name. Okay, so first name, last name. What will be the last name? So let me call this one as so I'm going to give as that here, last name. So this will be first name and my last name. And then here person's name you have to put in a quote, single quote. So single quote here also single quote, and the first name it will also be a single quote. Here also is a single quote. Okay, so all the numbers are, it's okay, IDs are okay, but names you have to put in a single quote. Then the SQL, otherwise the SQL will always give error. Next is what? Next is first name we put ID, first name, last name we have added. Next is address and email. So let's put that address. So address also is in a single column. Let's say Mizoram. Okay, so we put a Mizoram here, and in short we're just giving the Mizoram right now. And what will be the email address for this? So last is the email address. So I'm putting in a quote, single quote. So here I am just giving this as my email. So let's say 20@gmail.com, and in a single quote, close the quote. And now everything's look good, the values, and now we have to close the bracket and semicolon. Okay, so if I did not put, what happened is that now you can see the difference. If I did not put this, you will see that there are error, but there will be always error return. Okay, so now here what happened if I do like this, here let's execute. See, it's showing the error. Because of that you have to put in the single quote here. So you see that this error. Okay, so this error means something is wrong in your queries, in your comments and queries, so you have to be careful about that. Now if I put all this in order, the error disappears. Right, if I give semicolon and I execute, okay, so now let's click go. It's still giving me error, so something is still wrong. This is okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. Okay, so here why this doesn't here see there is a record. We did not give this particular, there is no S, but we put here S, so there is an error. So you have to be careful. Our record is only this record, not records, so that is a mistakes. So it's good that you know the mistakes. So here you have to be careful with the spellings as well. So let's click go. Now it's accepted. Another record, the values are added now. So when I go here, refresh, you will see that the value has been added now here. Okay, so the first one. So now let's put the second one also here. So let me edit, click here, and I'll change the record. So here I'm going to give the next one here too, and I'm going to give the different name here. So let's change the different names. Let's call here John Dave. Okay, John Dave, and let's say this is from, let's say from Delhi, and then we'll change his email address. Yes, so John Dave, yes, let's say gmail.com. Okay, I close the colon and close the bracket and then colon. So as you can see, everything's okay, values are okay, address is okay. So next one, so let's click go. It's successfully added. We go to our Okay, now we refresh. Now you can see that it is added successfully the second line. So first line added successfully, second line, and this way you can create how many persons that you want to add into your table. You can create this way. So let's create another one. So let's these are the same. So here the values we can change again. Let's put the third person here, and this time let's put one call. Okay, so really done. Okay, so let's say she's from Ariana. Okay, so let's change the email address of this Lily also. So Lily okay, so now the third person we're going to add. Okay, so everything's okay, so let's click go. Now the third one is added. Now let's go to our table and refresh that. So now you can see that Lily is added. Okay, so in this way you can create and maintain your database if you want to maintain nicely, but make sure that the IDs and all that you keep it into the primary, then everything will go out very smoothly and you'll have no much problem. So guys, this is how you can create your database and all. You want to see the structure, you can also see the structure this way, and you have want to edit anything that you can go to the change and draw change all those kind of things, value you want to change that, you can also do so. But in the SQL here, all the comments you have to run from here. You can also do manually, but I still encourage you to use the comments, especially so that you remember what you are doing. You always remember, and because in the real SQL also you'll be using a lot of these query comments or syntax that you are using. So always use the syntax and the query instead of the manual that you go, because it helps to remember the code and the syntax that you are using. So thank you guys. I hope this video has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you. Keep tuning to my channel, and then do like, share and subscribe. Thank you, and see you in the next video.